who taught you about finances and when did you start to go, okay, I'm gonna plan?
Nobody taught me. I'm gonna be really honest. I grew up in a home where I asked, but like I really did. It was kind of get married and just lean on your husband. And then I taught myself a lot of books, a lot of reading, a lot of research. I would be up at night and studying and learning about compound interest and passive income and
What I'm doing in this new show, Retirement Reality, is having heartfelt, candid conversations with people who have already retired so you can hear from them what worked well, what didn't, and everything in between. I hope you enjoy. And if you're retired and you want to personally come share your story on a future episode, there's a link right below this in the description of this episode where you can apply to be a guest. Now go enjoy the episode.
My guest today is not only the sweetest lady, she struggled with purpose. She talked about it. She was transparent, and she says if money was not an issue, she'd spend all of her time actually volunteering with older people because she loves their pearls of wisdom and shares that there's so much that people don't know they could actually do to help out and that it's so fulfilling. She's been divorced twice and she talks about it and her struggles and what made her eventually get to the point where she's in a comfortable spot and how she's never giving up despite what life throws at her. I hope you enjoy this conversation. Jenifer, I'm really excited to have you on the Retirement Reality Show. I put out a ton of content around healthcare and tax strategy and estate planning, and today is none of that. Today is we want to hear your story on your retirement, what you wish you did differently before you got there, what you're enjoying about it now, and everything in between. So I asked my guests the same question every time first. What is one word that you would use to describe your retirement so far?
ooh, one word.
One word.
Um, Pivoting.
Oh, I think that's my favorite word yet. I like that pivoting. Okay. How long have you been retired?
I would say maybe about off and on about 4 years, 4 or 5 years.
Okay, about 4 years. We've had guests say their word is awesome, scared, timid, dynamic, but pivoting, I love that. Let's dive into pivoting. Why did you choose that word?
Because I can see that for the last several years, my net worth is, I'm very blessed. I'm okay. But I can also see that y- your money can, if it's not growing, you can go through your money very quickly. And living here, I live in Orange County. Living here, it's very expensive area. And so you want to make your money at my age. You don't have a lot of chance to start over opposed to when you're younger. And so I've pivoted from doing one thing for like a year and a half to searching out another thing and doing that for maybe 6 months. I did something else for maybe 3 years. And I think the pivot part is finding the purpose and the joy and the financial stability all in all of it. Does that make sense?
It does, and I love it. I want to go deeper. So, these different things that you've tried out, is it mainly, hey, I want something to do? Is it mainly financial? Is it a little of both? How do you look at
It's a little
that?
of both. It's definitely a little of both. So I want my money. I don't want to lose money. I want my money to grow. But the thing about being retired too, at my age, I'm 57 years old, is I'm too young to be retired, to be honest with you. And I'm single. And you have to have purpose. You have to have something that, and I want to have something that I love to do. So actually, about 3 years ago, I love design. I love real estate. I grew up around construction. Know a ton of construction people. I decided to form a team of investors. I decided to just on my own start looking for homes to rehab. Not knowing anything about really the real estate, but just like thinking, oh, I love design. I love to make things beautiful. I love to create. I love to bring people together. So I found a house that I thought, this is under market. I bet if we get this house, I could get realtors, I could get construction people, I could get investors, I could collaborate, I could form a team. So I did that. I formed a team about 3 years ago of a couple realtors, a great construction crew, a couple investors, and I did the design. I found the homes. We did about 9 homes in about a year and a half. We flipped, we rehabbed, we worked together, and it was it was great. That was something that really hit every checklist on my box, as far as it was financially profitable, it was filling the purpose in my life, and I had passion for it. I loved it, and I loved the people I was working with, and it was just a win-win for everybody. It was absolute win-win. And then, you kind of look around, and some of the people were not as, um, the team was sort of, I would say, they're pivoting again. There's that word, pivoting. They were pivoting here, they were pivoting here. The market was pivoting. And so the team kind of dissipated, not due to really any big blow up or anything like that. It just dissipated. So that purpose was gone. Since then, I've been looking at a couple startups. I love startup companies. I love the process of doing the due diligence of, saying, oh, wow, maybe looking into something and see if it resonates with me, my heart, if it's something that I want to invest in, um, and help build and create. I love to create. I love to collaborate with other people. So I'm not sure if I pivoted off your question,
We're
but
doing good pivoting today. In fact, I'd like to pivot my background to look like yours because
oh,
you might be Ruth's next designer because I like your background right now, way better than mine. I want to learn more about the Jenifer backstory. Did you work a traditional job for 30 years, then retire at 53? What was your story?
no, I will be honest with you. I did not. I grew up here in Orange County, got married young 20s. Um, and the marriage didn't work out. Got divorced at 29. I was a single mom for 20 years.
Wow.
So, to be honest with you, I struggled. I I worked in health and wellness off and on for about 20 years. I managed, I threw myself, I got lucky. I got into a chiropractic office, and they educated me like crazy. And so I took that education. I went to other chiropractic offices, and I managed teams, and I built up their revenue and their clientele.
Amazing.
And that was really great. During that time as well, I also got my license to cut hair, because that was something, again, with me. I like to create beauty, and I like to be in community. So everything that you probably hear me say will be about creation, about trying to make something more beautiful than it already is, and being within community. And so hairstyling also hit those checklists about being with people, listening to people, creating, having them walk in and walk out feeling better. And so I did that. I got my hairstyling license when I was in my 30s. I did that for about 10 years. I worked at a salon that was a really incredible salon. It was a one of a kind here in, um, actually in the United States. They did a reality show on us here,
Whoa.
and it was nutty. It was nutty, but it was fun. But it
You
was
are a
really interesting.
creative, you are a creative hustler.
I don't know about that. Thank you. But it was an interest. It was a great time. It was a, fun time. So all the while working in health and wellness, and working in the beauty industry, I was raising 2 kids, and and they're going back and forth, and being here in Orange County, that's a tough thing to do. you know. So I really was just paycheck to paycheck, and but I saved when I could, you know, and you by the grace of God, you know, we were okay. And a lot of angels came to help, and it was just, I mean, it was a 20-year journey, and then I got married at 49, and which I thought was going to be like my forever everything. It was, everybody's like, this is your Cinderella story. So that actually didn't work out. It was over within 4 years, and it's devastating. Um, and it's hard to even talk about, to be honest with you, to this day. But I've moved on, and because you have to, and you have to. I've learned in my life, you have to start over. You have to. I mean, you just have to keep starting over. Just if you have God, you can do. You can. And so that divorce happened about 4 years ago. And I found myself in the position where, okay, at least I've saved some money, you know, and how can I make this money work for me? And that's when I bought a condo, bought a little condo. I fixed it up and I lived in it for 2 years, and then I sold it for double for what I got for it. And that's when the real estate thing hit me, and the creativity hit me, and I thought, oh, I love this. I thought I could do this, and that's when I was able to form that team of people. And it was it was great little gig for not quite 2 years. So and then I just kept upscaling with the homes.
I love your outlook on life because this level of transparency, Jennifer, is not underappreciated. You are not alone. There are so many people who reach out who are in a similar position of, hey, I thought I had my forever and life changed and I found myself and that turned out to be a blessing. So the fact that you're willing to share this, truly, we thank you. Now, I want to learn about who taught you to save along the way. I mean, here you are divorced in your 20s who raising two kids on your own in Orange County, which I know very well. Many of the viewers here, you are aware I own a semi-professional soccer team in Orange County. And people ask me, all right, well, why did you do that? Like, couldn't you just go play soccer? Of course I could, but I want more time with my brother. So I'm paying money along with my brother so we get more time together. So not everything's a financial decision in life. When you're raising two boys, I can only imagine you'll hear people go, yeah, you should save to a 401k or you should save to a Roth IRA. And you're like, hey, that sounds good, but I've got boys who have football practice, or I have boys who want to make sure that they go to theater or whatever that may be. Who taught you about finances and when did you start to go, okay, I'm gonna plan?
Nobody taught me. I'm gonna be really honest. I grew up in a home where I asked, but like I really did. It was kind of get married and just lean on your husband, which
Wow.
there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not gonna say there's anything wrong with that. With I love the family unit. I am for the nuclear family. I love when moms are able to stay home with their children and they don't have to. I think it's fabulous. But I wasn't taught that. Um, and so I actually money can cause a lot of fear, you know. And I think if you don't have anything saved up, I mean, obviously you're going to be in the throes of fear a lot. I went through a program, somebody we probably both know. I did Dave Ramsey.
Yeah.
I did his program. Um, Learned a lot of valuable tips from Mr. Ramsey. Don't agree with everything, but there's a lot of wisdom there. A lot.
Yeah.
So, and then I watched the people around me who knew more than me, who were more successful than me. I got around people who were doing better than me, who could teach me, who could guide me, who I wanted to be in rooms where I was not the smartest person. I did not want to be. Trust me, I'm not. So put me in a room with people who are smarter than me. And then I taught myself a lot of books, a lot of reading, a lot of research. I would be up at night and studying and learning about compound interest and passive income and you
Love it.
know yeah, and terms that like were actually foreign to me, that nobody ever taught me. I've never really even taken a business finance class. And it was really self-taught, but not really self-taught because I learned from others and their experiences and watching and listening and just trying to be quiet and absorb. So,
Kudos to you because it's so easy to go, oh, maybe I'm too late, or I never had a business class, so there's no way I can learn this. I went to business school
mhm.
and I graduated without having a Roth IRA. I was too embarrassed to ask because I thought, oh, should I already have one? If I ask if I should have one, does that mean I'm behind? Oh my, so by no means does going to a business class or business school put you in a better spot. It's okay, are you willing to listen? I forget what the quote is, but if you think you're the smartest person in the room,
Get
you're in
out
the
of the
wrong
room.
room.
Yeah, you're in the wrong
Yeah.
room. Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're a great example of going, hey, I'm not too humble to listen to other people. I want to learn. My
I'm
question
still
is,
there.
how did you ask? Did you go to a friend and say, hey, I'm in this position. Do you mind giving me guidance? Because that's not easy.
I did. I actually
Wow.
did. I actually went to a friend who who's been in my life for about 20 plus years. He was in the health and wellness field. And I said, I'm struggling. I'm struggling with purpose and financial stuff. And he said, let me get you around some people. And he made some phone calls and we all met for lunch one day. And thus began sort of my quest for knowledge and community and uh, purpose and financial resources and help with just my own walk in this journey of, you know, of of living life and making sure that your financial needs are met, and even more so being able to even just like give back, because
Yeah.
that's huge to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Let
So
me
yeah,
ask
I
you
did
this.
go to friend.
I love that you did that because it's not easy. Many people know I talk about this a lot, but I hate the word retirement. I just don't like the word. It just feels
I'm
like it's
with
like,
you.
okay, so I'm done with. No, no, no. I hope you never retire and do what you love forever. My mom is in her 70s and she works. Now, she wouldn't be working to the degree that she is if she had a financial plan, but she's lucky that she loves her work. She's made movies. She made one movie, Jennifer, called The Vow, which is the Rachel McAdams, Channing Tatum love story. And she goes, well, my marriage isn't that. And I firsthand witnessed my parents bicker about money. Probably was one of the reasons I became a financial advisor. So that wouldn't occur in my relationship. And so my mom is working in her 70s, but she does have that purpose. There's financial stress, but there's purpose. What I want to learn about is let's just assume we haven't done a full blown financial plan, but let's assume you don't have to work ever again. Meaning, if you do, will it help? Of course. But let's just assume you don't for a second. And you can really do whatever you want. And if no money comes in, you're in a good spot. You will not run out of money. Pretend I could guarantee that. Would you go back and try to form a team again because you love doing it so much? Would you go, I don't know what I would do next? What would you do?
Well, there's one thing that they did leave out. I can't believe I forgot this, but I also, while I worked in health and wellness and I did hair, I did caregiving. And that, wow, what a testimony and story I have there.
Please.
Because I also worked for a small boutique recruitment firm when I was in my, I'd say, early 40s. And I put biomedical engineers or engineers into the biomedical field. And then the dot-com bubble burst and nobody was hiring anymore. So that job was gone. And so it kind of, my two kids, my daughter got married, my son went off to college, and I found myself like, the job was gone, the kids were gone. Oh
Yeah.
no, what am I supposed to do? So I knew I needed community around me, and I started my own caregiving business, and it literally blew up. It like I did home health care. I did it here in Orange County, and it was all by referral.
Wow.
And I started with one person, one lady. She was 100 years old, and hmm I gave her a crown on her 100th birthday. I thought she deserves this tiara,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And so this will get to my story. In within this story, I love working with older people. I am an old soul, and I love being around older people.
Love
So
it.
this caregiving, that business that I started, I worked with Alzheimer's, dementia, then it brought me into working with kids that had disabilities, cerebral palsy, brain damage, paraplegics, you name it, the diagnosis, I've probably seen it, done it, hospice, everything. And I
Wow.
did this for many, many years. It got to the point where I put everything in storage. It was have bag, will travel. And I just went from family to family to family to family. And I will say that in that time, what was built inside me was an incredible heart of gratitude and an incredible pearls of wisdom that were given to me from older people. So I've I've learned a lot also from the people who have gone before us, Ari. They've lived generations before us, and they had nothing. And then maybe some of these people, I've been in homes that are just like, wow, and then I've been in very small homes. And, it's just amazing. And I got to get back to your question because I think I got off track. But um, remind me again. You,
That's okay.
if
All
I
I was
didn't, oh, if
thinking.
I didn't have to work,
Yeah.
so that with that, I guess you just hit me in the heart with that. I have such a love for the elderly. I have such a love for them. Right now, I'm helping out a hospice couple at my church that I go to, and it's just there's something that changes you when you get around people. They can't do anything for themselves anymore, and I don't want anything. I just want to love on them. And God gave me that gift to be able to do that. So if I never have to work again, and if that's what He wants for me to do, I'll do it.
Um,
I'll do that.
Amazing. You've lived 10 lives, it feels like, Jennifer. The world is a better place with you in it. What are some of those pearls of wisdom that you heard?
Mm. I have so many stories. I mean, so many stories. I would stay up nights listening to these people in their beds. I mean, I nobody wishes at the end of their life really for stuff. They want community. They want they want their loved ones around them. They people just want to be heard. They want to be seen. They would just want somebody to listen to them. I mean, I've got a lady right now. She is so isolated with what she is going through. So isolated. And I just go over and sit with her because I know that she is just she's heartbreaking. Her heart's breaking with what she's going through. So I just sit. And so I think, if that's something that I could do for the rest of my life, it gives me an immense amount of gratitude. And I know it's giving back, which is a huge thing, I think, for everybody. I think honestly, every senior in high school or every kid in college needs to go spend 6 months doing caregiving. Or go sit and volunteer in a home where older people are, where they don't have anybody, and just learn from them. Learn because I've learned. It's been 15 years of being with these people, and man, there is such a need for the older generation, because I think here in America, we have it a little bit backwards. In a lot of countries and other cultures, they really esteem the elder people. They bring their families in to live with them. They
Yeah.
honor them in a different way. Here in America, we really are quick to just toss them in a home. Bye. Oh, you're taken care of. It's okay. We'll visit you once a week. Get right off the checklist. It's done.
You're right.
and and I think we've got it backwards here, and it's something that just really tugs on my heart.
I think you're right. And there's a few thoughts right now. First thought is this might be the most powerful episode that I can think of recording. And here's why. So, a lot of people will reach out, Jenifer, that will say, I'm really worried to retire just because I don't know what I'm going to do. So, I'm going to work one more year. Yes, I know my health is being impacted negatively and I'm commuting and I'm dealing with that boss who's not ever made me feel heard or seen, to your point. And so they're staying in a job that they don't want, by the way, that they might not even need financially, just because they don't know what's going to occur. And they have imposter syndrome of, well, there's no way I can help. What could I do? So, do you mind clarifying what are the skills that are needed if someone were to want to go and spend time, just like you shared, with the elderly to hear that wisdom? Because I think this could solve so many problems for people who, to your point, there's people that, yeah, you want to retire. A lot of people do, and they travel and they go on a big trip with their family and they love it. And then they're home and it's a 2 o'clock and it's Tuesday and they're like, okay, well, what the heck do I do now? So do you need to be a doctor? Can anyone
Nope,
just go help? Like,
absolutely not.
what can people do?
No, absolutely not. I had no idea when I started my caregiving business. I'm going to be completely authentic, totally transparent with you. The first clients I had were two little dogs. Okay. This older couple needed to get away, and they asked if I could watch their home. But through
Wow.
that older couple, taking care of their dogs, through that older couple, I made a good rapport, and they really liked me, and I earned their trust. And they were in I think a 55 and plus retirement community, and they put my name out. But there are so many different ways that you can do it. There are so many senior centers everywhere. How hard is it to just go sit with somebody and have, and listen and just say, just go and say, hey, I want to volunteer for a couple hours. Can I volunteer here 10 hours a week? I guarantee you they will say yes. Absolutely. Um, I'll be honest, when I moved into my home here, I wrote a letter to 100 residents that lived in my community around me, and I just put resident on it. I didn't know who they were. I wrote the address and I invited them to an open house here at my house. And I told them my past, and I said, if you know anybody, I had pictures of all my old clients up and stuff like that. And I had over 60 people come
Oh
to
my
my
God.
home, and we had name tags, I had food, and it was just this meet and greet. And I'm like, because I was new to the neighborhood and I wanted to meet people, and I
Yeah.
thought, you know what, it's different these days. I said, you have to put yourself out there. So I said, okay, God, I'm going to put myself out there. So I mailed out 100
Amazing.
invitations to people I didn't know. I had about 60 people show up. And from that, even to today, I have people call me and say, hey, do you have time to, do this? But you do not have, I don't have, I have my health and wellness background, but, I'm not a medically licensed. I think our older generation just wants people to be there for them. They just want to be seen. They just want to be heard. They just want to be loved on. So
Yeah.
I think there's you can Google, you can anything, senior council agent in place, all these senior centers. and just say, hey, how can I volunteer? There's a great book, and I don't know if you know about it. It's called The Go-Giver. Have you heard
Uh-uh.
that book?
No.
The
Go giver.
Go-Giver. And it's my one of my friends during this transition of not knowing what I'm supposed to do, what's my purpose? And he
Right.
said, Jen, I'm tired of hearing you say what's your purpose. Here's your book. And I said,
Wow.
okay. So um, I read this book called The Go-Giver, and it's about this guy who's always trying to get the next best deal, and it's just falling through his hands. He can't get it. So yeah, I don't want to spoil the story, but I'm just going to say when you begin to go out and add value instead of looking for your own value in your own life, but going out to add value to others in the world, it comes back. It just is a natural trifecta effect that will happen. So,
I have
fabulous
felt
book,
that.
changed my life.
Wow, wow. I have felt that 10 million fold because all the content we post on YouTube is free. Millions and millions of people watch, and, there's a small, small percentage that are actually paying clients that we work with. And our goal is to help as many people as we can. And sometimes that's working with people directly. Sometimes it's making a video like this so that someone can watch it and go, wow, this resonated. So there's two more things I want to go into detail on, Jennifer, if that's okay.
Sure.
Now, a quick pause. If you are watching this right now and you're resonating with this and this new show and Jennifer's level of transparency, let us know. Put it in the comments below. Wow, this really helped. I just didn't even know that this was an option. I thought I was going to have to be medically licensed. Or, wow, you just walk in and volunteer. And Jennifer, you are a prime example of creating your own happiness because there's a lot of people who go, I'm down on my luck and I've had it tough and it's just why me? And you're like, no, I'm going to go mail out 100 letters to a new place. I mean, that's might seem like normal, but it's not. Okay, so kudos to you. So here's what I want to go into. People love hearing what does a day in the life look like. So I want to hear when you wake, what time are you waking up? What's your normal structure? Are you doing yoga? Do you work out in the evening? Whatever your day looks like. And then at the end of the show, I always like to be silent and I like to let you talk to young you. So you get to go, Jennifer, do you remember when you got married? Look at you now. You should be so proud of yourself and help other people hear that, wow, you are going to go through different stages of life and you will come out on the better end if you put yourself first. And it's not easy to do. So we'll get to that in a little bit, but do you mind sharing, what time are you waking up? What are you having for breakfast? You might think do people really want to hear this? But they love it.
All right. So it's very non-dramatic. So I'm a very early to bed person. So but I get up about I wake up about 6, and it just naturally I wake up about 6. I kind of crawl out of bed about 7. I like to read in the morning. I like to have a cup of coffee in the morning. I like to read. I read the Bible. I read and I pray. Um, I like to I like all as far as exercise, I like to be outside. So I love to and I'm around a ton of hiking trails. So I love to go hiking. I love to go walking. I do yoga sometimes. I will do Pilates. I'm in some groups that are like empty nester groups, these women groups, and
Yeah.
we'll go down to the beach and we'll go walking and we'll have breakfast and stuff like that. And I have this rule where I do not turn on the TV until after 4 or 5 o'clock. And I'm not even racing to the TV. Actually, my grandma told me like had to be in my 30s. So she goes, turn off the TV for like 3 months. And I did it. I didn't miss it. And I don't miss it to this day. It, I will play music in my house, but I I do I have a lot of TVs and I don't even turn them on. So I do a lot of reading. Like I said, I do a lot of volunteer with the people at my church right now.
Mhm.
Um, and then I have some girlfriends and go to some cafes, and I'm looking into a startup company right now that I'm passionate about, and we'll see where that goes. So that's taken some time, a little bit of due diligence. And, and at night I'll do more reading. I love to do research. I'm like a research junkie.
Nice.
So yeah, so it's kind of
Very cool.
not very exciting life, but it's okay. It's a peaceful life. It's a
I,
calm life.
I think people are dreaming of what you just said there. And I'll let you see it in the comments because I'm asking you guys, is that what resonates? Because there's so many people that go, that's literally my dream life. I don't need the Bugatti. I don't want to travel internationally. I just want my life where I can choose what I want to do and I'm in control. So I love getting to hear that. So Jennifer, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go silent and I'm going to let you get to choose whatever you want in this kind of situation. You can go, I'm just going to talk to younger me and tell her how proud and the lessons that I wish you would have known earlier. You can talk to someone who's similar stage where it's they're single, they're divorced, they are, let's say, you 3, 4 years ago, they're thinking about, okay, what is my next 40, 50 years going to look like? And it can be, hey, you're not going to know, but try things out, put yourself first. So I find people really enjoy speaking to their younger self, but you can take this wherever you want. So I'm going to be silent for the next minute, 2 minutes, and let you have the floor.
I would say I've had a lot of knockdown moments in my life. And my upbringing was rough. I don't talk about it a lot. And then I've, you know, but I would say, first of all, my faith is what has gotten me through everything. And I have to number one say that my faith has been the number one most important area in my life, and it is what has gotten me through everything. So I lean on that for my strength. Um, but if I look back at me being a young girl, I would say there was probably a lot of fear that I grew up with in life. You can either face fear or you can run from fear. And I think, or just surrender and just, you know what? Get back up and, and, and put yourself out there, because we're all going to fail. And it's not the worst thing if we fail. And if something doesn't work out, move on to, like I started this session with you, pivoting. Move on to something else. If this doesn't work, okay, you know what? It's not the end of the story. I'm still here. Pivot into something else. And you know what? If that didn't work out, okay. You know what? I'm not done yet. God's not done writing my story. Pivot on to the next thing, because you never know. I have so many different hats that I've worn in life, and from each one of them I've received pearls of wisdom and lessons learned. And so hard lessons learned are tough, you know, but the pearls of wisdom, hang on to those, because they're going to be valuable for your next pivot into whatever your next journey is. And so, like, I would say if fear was a great part of my story, just not knowing, what is tomorrow going to bring? Is it going to bring purpose? Is it going to bring financial stability? Am I going to be okay? Am I going to have community around me? Yes, I am. Yes, I'm going to be okay. Yes, I am going to have people around me. Yes, I'm going to be okay financially. Yes, I am going to put myself out there, and I'm going to surround myself with good people. And you know what? It just ends up working out somehow.
You can face fear or you can run from it. I love that. Jennifer, you're a legend. This was one of my favorite episodes of all time, truly. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Retirement Reality. If you want to come on the show and share your story, similar to Jennifer today, because you think that you have stories or something that you wish you would have known earlier, let us know. You can go in the description and you can apply to come on the show. And if you resonated with Jennifer's story specifically because it just hit home, let us know in the comments. We do all of this for you guys and we appreciate you watching. I get a lot of comments, Jennifer, from people who go, hey, you put out a ton of case studies and you always say we. And I used to go, what do they mean we? And they go, yeah, there's a lot of people who are married, there's a lot of couples, but there's also a lot of single people, widows, divorcees who go, we're not finding that content is directed specifically for us. So we're going to start putting out more content for you guys in what we have found tends to be an area where there's not a ton of content that goes into helping all of you. So thank you for tuning into the show, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, Jenifer.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed this episode of Retirement Reality, check out how we help people retire with confidence. You can see we have an FAQ section on our website. If you just hover over the resources tab, you can go ahead and see this FAQ section here and learn everything about what it's like to work with us, including our personalized planning process, a quick overview of how everything works. Do you have enough money to become a client? Where will your money be? Everything from tax planning to fees. We are extremely transparent and want to make sure that you're working with someone that resonates with you. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode, and if you once again want to be a guest on a future show so that you can share your story, you can see that in the link of this episode. Thanks.